Thanks for joining us today. I'm Mick Friend, and this is Jesus Unfiltered. We've come to the end of the year. The end. I remember being so thrilled at the thought of it's finished. The Old Testament, the law, the sacrifices, all that had been on the cross, Jesus said, "It is finished." And on the cross, Jesus Christ set the whole world forever right with God. I've been talking to a friend of mine named Art. He called last night. We had a Bible study for about an hour and a half. I've known him for well over 40 years. He's a little older than me, but he's going through a real trial. He's had some real serious physical issues and been in and out of the hospital for several days. And he called and he said, "Mick, tell me, you've seen something about Jesus. I've listened to your podcast. I've listened to you. Tell me again." And so I began to tell my friend Art, who was a pastor of a church. Terry and I, when we were first married, preached a series of meetings for them. We've known each other for a long time. But in his crisis, his faith was tested. His mind was filled with confusion, and he just needed to talk to somebody about Jesus. And I was ready to affirm the great love of God, the mercy of God, the grace of God, that I'm not against anybody or anything. I'm just so for Jesus. I'm a Jesus freak. I'm a freedom fighter. That it's all about Jesus. And I don't know. I've placed him, Jesus, on such a high pedestal that there's nothing else that compares to him. And what he did, we can't add anything to what he did. Jesus died for us. He tells stories in Luke chapter 15 to a group of people that are complaining because he's having dinner with tax collectors and sinners. He's being friends with people who are not religious. And he tells those people the story of a man that lost one sheep out of 100. And these are just incredible verses. He said, "When the man found it, 'Rejoice with me, I have found my lost sheep.'" Then he tells the story of a woman who lost a coin, one of 10 in the house. And she also says, "Rejoice with me, I have found my lost coin." The last story in that little series of stories Jesus tells is the story of the lost son. And he said, "This son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." So they began to celebrate. I want to tell you that Jesus Christ loves you. He is the Almighty God, Emmanuel, God with us in the flesh. He will not stop searching until he finds all that is lost. One of the controversies in my religious past was what this young man did after he took his father's inheritance and went away. This is Luke 15:13. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had and set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. There's several different translations of the word wild: revelous, riotous, alternative. And I'm thinking that it's time for me to say to all of you that your alternative lifestyle does not diminish or stop your sonship. If you're a daughter and you've gone away and you're broken and you've spent it all, you're still a daughter. You're still a son. You might be lost, but you're still his. And when you come to your senses, like it says, verse 17, when he came to his senses, he said, how many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death. That could be a metaphor too. It is empty. You've got nothing left. You wasted it all. I think I need to go home. When that thought crosses your mind and when you realize it isn't back to church, it isn't back to religion, it's back to your Father, that suddenly you realize, I'm lost. And Jesus said, this is my son who was lost. And I just want to tell you this last message of 2023. You're found. He's got you. He won't let you go. You are his, and none can take you out of his hand. I'll read one more verse. This is John chapter 8, verse 35. Now a slave has no permanent place in the family, but a son belongs to it forever. Your lifestyle hasn't changed his mind. Your bad decisions, your terrible decisions, and the shape that you're in. Your condition doesn't change your position. You're his. Bless you today as you see what I see. And as I talked with Art Caldwell last night, together we celebrate. I was lost. I was lost. And Jesus found me. God bless you. Happy New Year.